Don't get too accustomed to this. My name is Pontip, and I'm a cosplayer. I'm also other things too. I'm a graphic designer, I'm an artist, a maker, I'm a fan, I'm passionate and enthusiastic, I'm creative and expressive. But most importantly, I'm a person. Communities, by their very definition, are made up of people. People who are all brought together because of a common interest. I'm not actually referring to cosplay in this instance just yet. Yes, there is a cosplay community, but despite there being so many of us out there, it's still a very narrow definition. No, what I'm talking about is the community of fans, enthusiasts, geeks and nerds. This is what we are. We have a love and a passion for all the various fictional genres, and that is what brings us together. Each and every one of us has a different way of expressing that fandom. The most obvious being cosplay, because it enjoys a high profile at the moment. But there is also illustrating, music, video, writing, and of course, collecting. Hell, even wearing a geeky t-shirt is a form of expression. Expression happens whether you're conscious of it or not. If we narrow the scope back to cosplay, even there we all have various reasons why we do what we do. I've said it over and over, I enjoy making things. I've always been visually creative, and cosplay is a visual medium. Whether or not I'm actually good at it isn't the point, but that enjoyment of making things helps me to express my love for a character or story. There are those who enjoy the escapism. There are people who love performing. Some enjoy the thrill of being a little silly, and some get deep satisfaction from replicating every single intricate little detail in a show of spectacular high-end craftsmanship. Now, we hear a lot that cosplay is just for fun, or it's just a hobby. It's usually used as a counter for the drama that arises and accompanied by a plea to not take things so seriously. That's all well and good for some people, but if I'm to be really picky about the wording and the attitude, there's potential to trivialize and dismiss what cosplay means to a lot of people. Cosplay certainly is fun and is a hobby for many of us, but it's also more than just those things. When you say it's just a hobby, you're not necessarily speaking on behalf of those who have turned it into a career. There are people who have found opportunities through cosplay, which has then become their livelihood. Saying that it's just for fun isn't always representative of those who have used cosplay as a form of therapy, helping them find their way back from trauma, and helping them to overcome their injuries. Downplaying what cosplay means for many people trivializes the value it holds for those who have formed great friendships in this community, met their partners, met their heroes, and simply experiencing great things. Yes, they're all having fun, but it's more than just that. No matter how similar our motivations may be, they can originate from all sorts of different personalities, which have all come together in this melting pot to form this community. But not all these personalities are going to be compatible. Personality conflicts happen everywhere, wherever large groups of people come together. School, the workplace, shared interest clubs, even friendship groups. Regardless of our own personality type, simply being part of a group means we have a responsibility to the group and to one another. We all need to do our part to maintain safe and welcoming spaces for everyone to freely participate. We also need to be attentive and informed so we can look out for one another and support each other. If we want to benefit from the positives of the community, we have to play some sort of active role, no matter how big or small. You can't live in a share house and not pay rent, or not do the chores and yet still benefit from a roof over your head, or access to the Wi-Fi. When bad things happen, we need to find a way to come together to tackle the problem. There's no neutrality when there's injustice. You are not Switzerland during the war. But at the same time, you can't always go running in, arms swinging, looking for a fight. You have to be smart about it and pick your battles. I'm a cosplayer, I'm a fan, and most importantly, I'm a person. But for whatever reason, some folks seem to forget that. I am not a commodity. I am not a grunt, nor am I a disposable asset or networking opportunity. I'm just a guy trying to express myself. Most of us are. And yet I see so many people, cosplayers, photographers, etc., being used and then thrown aside when they outlive their usefulness. Understandably, some get caught up in the attention and the limelight. Trust me, I know what that's like. Unfortunately, there are people who take advantage of that naivety. Many forget why they cosplay in the first place because it all goes to their head, and some get led astray with promises of fame and glory, which is still, to this day, the most misguided phrase ever used to promote a hobby. I know I'm getting a little heavy here and it's inching towards sounding like a manifesto, but my point is that communities are made up of all sorts of people, brought together because of a shared interest. We're enthusiastic, we're passionate, we love what we do, and sometimes we need to remind each other of these things. We also need safe and welcoming spaces for us to express and experience these things. If we want to enjoy the playground, we have to be the ones to maintain these grounds and the play equipment. We can't all let it go to crap and expect someone else to take care of it. One of my favourite pop culture commentators, Bob Chipman, put it more succinctly than I ever could. Fandom is a community. A function of any community is to say, "No you won't," when a bad apple declares intent to spoil the barrel. Our interests don't define us, but we are all in this together. The great thing about that is with a little effort from each and every one of us, we can accomplish so much together. Here endeth the sermon.